Welcome to Crane's Bar and Grill. This is going to be episode 3, Obi-Wan Kenobi review. I guess first things first, I want a Bumbo rum and Coke. That would be good. Okay, so where do we want to start? I mean, I can start. I took notes.
Hey, I took notes too.
Nice.
I didn't. I have a good memory.
You didn't do your homework?
I have a good memory, guys.
As usual. Oh.
I took notes. I didn't get my first note in until about halfway through the episode. This is the first time I noticed something that was like, oh, look at that.
Well, we should probably go through rating it and everything like we did before.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we got to go through the spoiler-free part
the
first.
The non-spoiler section.
Yes.
Sorry.
So let's go. So what'd you think about it?
I liked it. I liked it a lot better than the second episode.
Yes.
Trying really hard not to give spoilers away as I say things. I liked it. I really liked it. I thought it was a really good episode. It's my favorite episode so far. If I had to rate it, I would give this one an 8. And it's really only for one reason, but we have to wait till spoilers for that.
Oh, okay.
I liked it. I liked it more than the second episode. I don't know if I liked it more than the first episode. I have to go back and rewatch it to see if I liked it more than the first one, because I really liked the first one. But yes, because of the reason we're not naming, maybe I do like it more.
With me, yeah, I like it more than the second episode. I don't like it more than the first episode. Because I did go back and rewatch it a seced time and stuff. You know, the first time through, I was like, yeah, that was pretty good. And the second time I went through, I noticed some stuff, but it was okay. Like I said, I don't think it was better than the first. To me, I didn't like it better than the first episode.
Yeah,
there was, because of certain things that was cool.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where this is way better. This is better than the second episode. That part isn't, but this part is, and there was just plus even on the very first viewing, there's several things I noticed. I'm like, God. They take you. With me, it's the stuff that takes you out of the movie. Like you notice something that doesn't make any sense. So then I go, that doesn't make sense. I'm thinking that doesn't make any sense. So now I'm out of the movie. I'm not in the thing. But I would have what she said. She gave it an 8. What would you give it?
I'd probably give it a 7.
7. So I gave episode 2 a 5. On first viewing, I probably would have given it maybe a 6 or 7. I was going to give it a 5.5.
The third one?
The third one, yeah. Yep.
Weird that I'm the highest and
yeah, because usually you're the hardest one on.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I know why you.
There's probably less,
you higher.
Yeah.
You got
There's
little
probably
different criteria.
Less stuff that took you out of the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably a little different criteria. So you said 8. You said 7.
Yep.
I said 5.5. So there's a spoiler free. So now we're going to get into spoilers. So if you don't want spoilers, then we'll see you later, and see you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and leave a comment down below. If there's a TV show that you think we should watch, that's good. And if we haven't watched it, maybe we'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
So, all right, see those later. So now we're going to start spoilers.
Yep.
And now I'm going to get to my notes.
Yep.
So first thing I want to clear up from the very first video. You know it, but I don't think I talked to you about it, because we talked about why Princess Leia is a princess. Mm-hmm. Princess Leia is a princess because of her mother, or her adopted mother.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Is Queen Breya of Alderaan.
Okay. I think I said that. I said maybe her mom's a queen.
Yeah.
But yes.
But yeah. So that's
he Googled it.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Okay. Glad.
Now what I didn't get to, and I didn't think of till just a little while ago, is why is her mom a queen? I don't know how their thing was she a queen and she married Bail and he took her name? Or was
I would
he
assume
he
took her name
king?
Since she's the queen.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
He's always been a senator.
Right.
So he's a senator, so
I'm assuming she was queen and married a senator. Okay. I'm assuming it's hereditary since they said she would be leading her people.
But they said she would be a senator one day. So is she not going to be queen one day?
Don't know.
I don't know. I'm confused.
Maybe they are elected.
Maybe. I was thinking it was. I don't know, because they were girls. Maybe I was thinking it was like was it Sword of Truth? Her sister or whatever is always the women are always queen.
I mean
something like
the
that.
Wheel of Time.
Wheel of Time. You had Camelin, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah, it was Andor. It's always queens.
Yeah,
you know.
sort of true too.
Oh, okay.
Kalen's sister. They are.
So
Okay.
yeah.
back to Star Wars.
Yeah.
So now we're got to explain the Leia thing. Now we know why she's a princess. So
Post that out.
so my first thing that I noticed, like because the first time I just watch it, the second time I'll take some notes just to see if there's something I missed. And this is the one that I even had the question of on the last one when they got in, when they're writing on the thing. Why is there even an atmosphere in a cargo ship that's automated?
Yeah.
Why would you even? That seems like a waste of money and a waste of resources when you don't need that. I mean, I can see maybe keep it at a certain temperature, so it doesn't freeze in space. But do you need oxygen and stuff like that?
To keep it a certain temperature, you would need an atmosphere.
But would it have to be breathable?
It wouldn't have to be breathable,
So
but
would it be cheaper just to have something that wasn't
but-
breathable?
maybe. But they've already got all the systems set up for a breathable atmosphere. So if you're going to have an atmosphere, why not just make it
And
breathable?
maybe sometimes someone does have to be on it for some
Yeah.
reason.
Maybe sometimes they do have somebody.
or
on
they
it.
have live cargo
Yeah.
Yeah.
animals.
Could
or
be
something.
sometimes, but I just thought that was. And you would think that they would only put the atmosphere in there when there was to save, but because you would think you'd want to save money. That was my first thing, and I just noticed this kind of, and that didn't really take me out of the movie. I was just wondering because it could be several different things that could explain that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked him trying to commune with Qui-Gon, and I liked how they did it as far as it seemed like he couldn't because he can't, and that's maybe why he hasn't communed with Qui-Gon yet and seen him yet.
Yeah.
Maybe because he can't clear his mind and he can't stop thinking about Anakin and what happened and all that stuff keeps cluttering in while he's trying because he probably feels. I'm sure, like I said, he feels really guilty for killing like his best friend. He was like, we were like brothers.
Yeah.
Right.
And his Padawan and everything. I mean, I'm sure that's just hard to get.
And
then you go. Then you go
he
spend your
was
time
part-
alone
he
in
was,
a cave.
He's partially responsible
Yeah.
for the fall of the Jedi
Yeah.
at that point.
Yeah, and you spend 10 years alone in a cave, and that would really play on your
Yeah.
mind. You're not.
So-
going out.
It seems
hanging out
like
with
it
friends
seems
where
like it was really hard for him to
Yeah.
just be in touch with the Force enough to catch Leia in the last episode.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I blame all the Jedi for the fall of the Jedi.
Yeah,
Palpatine was right there.
right in your face.
yep.
Right there.
You were
And you
too
let
cocky.
him manipulate the person who was supposed to restore balance to the Force right underneath you.
Yeah.
I mean, if they knew Anakin was messed up, I blame them all.
Yeah. And then, with an automated ship that's a cargo ship, is there any reason why the Empire wouldn't have access to those records and know exactly where it's going and be right on their heels as soon as they got there? Would there be any reason why they had to track?
That's what I was
why would
wondering.
they have to track it down?
It was heading
It's automated.
It was heading
It knows where it's going.
to an Imperial mining
Yeah.
facility, basically.
They would have records of the shipping manifest, and she said that they looked into that, and it could have went to these several different ones. Why don't you know? You don't keep good enough records in order to know exactly where it's going. It's automated.
Yeah.
It goes there and back and there and back, or it might go to other ones, but you know where it's going.
Yeah.
And
You should be able to track it down.
Yeah, I would think so. That kind of took me out. I'm like, nah, they should have been able to track that down easy. And I mean, it didn't. They could have got there and then been right there. It didn't have to.
What would have been more believable is if she goes to the other Inquisitors and says, it could have gone to these three places.
But she knew where it went.
She knew where it went, and she
goes there.
goes there straight off.
Right.
Yeah.
Or
I could see her doing something like that.
Or show Obi-Wan tinkering with it and he took the tracker thing off or something like that.
Yeah.
So they don't know which
Or
planet
he changed the coordinates, yeah.
They don't know which planet it went to because he changed something. They could do
Yeah.
they could have done little simple
There
things
should
like that.
be an explanation for why they don't know exactly where it's going when it landed in an Imperial mining facility.
And I as the audience, I shouldn't have to make up my own story. I should know these things, unless it's one of those kind of stories where they intentionally leave it ambiguous to you, whatever. But this is where
That's not something that you're going to leave ambiguous.
Not in an Obi-Wan movie or something. So yeah, that and I liked. Okay, now we get into sports because I like Darth Vader.
Yeah.
And I like that. I like that Christian Hayden.
Hayden Christensen.
Hayden Christensen. I keep saying him, Christian Hayden. Hayden Christensen is playing him.
Yeah.
Which makes it kind of cool.
Yeah.
But one thing I noticed, and a lot of this stuff, I just want people to know, a lot of the stuff when we pick on it, none of this stuff is going towards the actors or actresses because all they're doing is giving the lines that they don't have control. The only one that may have some control would be Ewan McGregor. Nobody else has the pull to go change lines and stuff like that. So they're doing what they're told to do and directed to do and stuff like that. So any of this stuff, if we say like, I don't, this character did this and I don't like it, it means I don't like the character, not the actor or the actress. Those they're just doing. Yeah. It's like when I go to my job and and I do some people don't like me. Some I'm just doing what my job told me to do. Yeah. I don't have I don't have that leeway on that.
Or like, especially if we're talking about like the prequel trilogy, we'll rag on the prequel trilogy a lot. I don't have any problem with any of the actors in the prequel trilogy. I think all the actors did an amazing job.
Yeah. There's just
if I had
things.
Yeah, if there's something I don't like about a character, it's the character. Yeah. It's the writers that I have a problem with, not the...
Even the guy that did Jar Jar Binks did an amazing job.
He did a great job with Jar Jar Binks. I just don't like Jar Jar Binks.
I just don't like Jar Jar Binks. I think he's annoying. He would have been, he'd have been better in a more of a kids show. And like I said, people can't say that Star Wars is a kids show. There's people getting burned.
Yeah.
Right.
There's people getting their hands chopped off, their
like
head chopped off.
Clone Wars and Rebels. It's still not a kids cartoon.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But I like Darth Vader. But here's one thing I noticed when he was talking to Reva. It's Reva, isn't it?
I think so.
When he was talking to her, I didn't hear his breath at all. Because a lot of times he'll be talking a lot of times like in the other ones, while his breath is still going on.
Yeah.
But I didn't, the whole time he's talking to her, I didn't hear his breath, didn't hear any of that. Yeah. When he's talking to her, but he had, but I love the James Earl Jones voice. Yeah. You can't beat that. Yeah. That is great.
I didn't even notice that he wasn't breathing.
I didn't notice until the second time.
I've always noticed in the movies that the breath is always going even when he's talking.
Even when he's talking.
It might be less frequent when he's talking.
Yeah.
But
it seemed to be kind of always going.
It's always going even when he's talking.
Yeah.
Which would make sense if it's a mechanical lung thing and not it's not him physically breathing through his mouth. Yeah. It's a mechanical lung thing.
And I think part of that too is movies back then. They're using this to breathe. Like they have that thing for like the breath, and then James Earl Jones is doing the voice over it. I think that's the only reason. It's breathing while he's talking.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
but if it's something that's always happened,
true. Then
it's kind of weird that they changed it. But I understand why they changed it.
Right.
Well, I'll get to later why I think they changed it. But anyway, then when it went back to the cargo ship, I liked the interaction between Obi-Wan and Leia. I liked that when she said, what is the Force like, and he said, have you been afraid of the dark? And then somebody turns the light on, and then he goes, that's what it's like. And I like that.
I really like that. Yeah.
Like you said before that. The personal interactions and stuff like that, they're getting pretty good.
The character moments are the best part of the show.
And then when they go to do some action and stuff, it's just like, do these people even have any idea how some of this stuff works?
Yeah.
They know the character moments. So can you get some military guys in there, some law enforcement guys in there to show you how, something like this, if you were to do something like this, this is how this would have to happen? Because the way you're doing it doesn't make any sense.
Right.
With the action moments, you're going to get some action people in there.
Yeah.
So that tell you how it's going to happen. And then when they got to the planet, and I didn't get, Obi-Wan is pretty snappy. Like when he tells us there's bad people, then you can't trust them. And
I didn't get why he was snappy.
Really snappy.
I think that's another of those things where they had slightly different. They had like a different writer or different writers for this episode than they did other ones. So Obi-Wan's crabby now for some reason.
Or a different director.
And maybe they were going with the thing of like when Padme says there's still good in him, he doesn't believe it. And he sees that her trusting people like that, like she trusted Anakin, I don't know. But I shouldn't have to make that stretch.
That was odd.
It was a little odd, but
when he snapped.
It wasn't that bad, but it was just
it wasn't like...
Right. He's kind of snappy.
It didn't even take me out of the show. It was just a little odd the way he reacted.
Yeah. He was telling her about how this planet used to be, farms here and there used to be this and that, and then the Empire took over, and see what happened like that. And that kind of took me out of the thing because I couldn't help but think, because I see what the landscape looks like, and I'm like, that's California. So he's basically telling the story about California now. That's what I kept thinking. This used to be a beautiful place and all this stuff like that. Then the Empire took over, and now it's just a big pile of crap.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's what it reminded me of, because I'm like, aren't they filming in California? Is he just telling the story of, you know? So it just made me giggle to myself, thinking, hey, he's there. You know, somebody slipped that one in there.
The line did make me wonder if that's one of the planets that they went to in the Clone Wars cartoon.
Could be.
And that's how
I think that yeah, if that's how he knows that would be cool. I have no
Yeah.
idea if it's true.
Yeah.
If
But
that's
he's
the
been
case.
to a lot of places that we don't know.
Yeah.
We haven't seen all the stuff. You
But
know, and
I think it would be
He's
cool if it
been-
was a planet that was.
Yeah.
In
he's been to planets
Clone
that
Wars.
don't even exist.
Yeah.
But there's nothing here. Have you flown out and checked?
they don't. It doesn't exist. If it's not in the records, it doesn't exist.
Right.
But and then I liked when because it saw how much it's playing on his mind now that he's found out that Anakin
Anakin's alive.
is alive.
Yeah.
It's how much playing on mind when he saw Anakin in the robe in the field turn around and look at him.
Yeah.
That really, he's imagining.
Yeah.
He's seeing things now. It's really messing with his mind, and that could be why he's so, crabby.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
he's,
That
Oh,
okay.
that,
would
makes
make,
sense
Yeah, that makes more
because
sense.
now, he
It's
trusted
freaking
Anakin. He's
him
like,
out.
you can't trust everyone. Now he's freaked
Yeah.
out.
Now he's just on edge.
That makes
yeah,
sense.
Yeah.
he's on edge
Okay.
and he's
Yeah.
freaking out. But I thought that scene was really good. And he turned
Yeah,
and
the
looked.
scene-
It was,
yeah.
Yeah.
it was creepy about how he did that. Yeah, I like that
Yeah.
one.
Well,
let's see.
and it gave Hayden Christensen a chance for you to actually see his face.
Yeah.
yeah,
in the thing.
yeah, that's true.
Besides his scarred face.
But then it goes from there to Reva arriving at the Inquisitors. I don't know if it's their whole planet there, but it's their base.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was at that, and that was very, it comes in with the spike thing. It was very underwhelming. It reminded me of Azkaban.
Yeah.
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 You know?
It did. It
And
did.
so it was, and the reason it was underwhelming was because of the music. Her music isn't threatening. It's almost like music you would play if someone's in a hurry doing something.
Yeah.
It's not. There's no bass to it. It's not like
Yeah.
Darth Vader goes dun dun
Dun,
dun dun
dun,
dun dun
dun,
dun.
dun.
Yeah.
It was more like kind of something like that, but instead of that power, it was like. And it was like almost like she was like someone who was in a
Yes,
hurry,
yes.
going somewhere. And I'm like, it's just not. It wasn't
Yeah.
intimidating and imposing.
It's also
which makes her less.
was
intimidating.
that after they showed Mustafar?
Yes.
That's one of the reasons. That's probably one of the reasons it was also underwhelming because it looks similar. It looks similar to Vader's base, except it's in the water. I'm like, that's just not as intimidating
No.
as
Yeah.
lava flowing past
Yeah,
it. and
exactly.
And
It's
I
on a
will say,
black mountain.
there was
I'm
a
like, that's
moment-
much more. That's much cooler.
Yeah.
There was a moment I realized I didn't
Than a
like
spear coming out of
any
the
of the
water.
music so far that much.
Yeah.
And
That's
it
when I
wa-
realized. Yeah.
When I realized it was when an actual part of the music I liked came in. When they're fighting, him and Darth Vader, and then like that music comes on. I'm like, that's the music
Yeah.
that should be. That was the
Yeah.
only bit of music I liked.
Yeah.
Was when they
Yeah.
fight and then that music comes on.
Yeah,
the
because-
music that they fought to before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
and I didn't hear the Imperial March when Darth Vader showed up or anything.
That-
I need to hear.
yes,
That's
Darth
what
Vader.
why
should
is
have
there
been
no
playing, yeah.
music? It's
Yeah.
like there's been hardly no music to it, except for
Yeah.
certain.
Can they not use that
scenes.
music?
Disney
It's-
owns it.
they
I
own
would
it.
think they would
Yeah.
own it so they could play whatever they want.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's Darth Vader's theme. You got to play his theme. Just like
Maybe-
if for some reason you had Rey there, you got to play Rey's theme. You
Maybe
got
they're-
Luke in there, you got to play Luke's theme.
Maybe
Yeah.
they're waiting
Maybe, I guess.
for a moment, but I'm like,
don't know.
the moment was when he was walking through the
Yeah.
town.
The
and
the
snapping
moment-
people's
yeah.
necks. Like that was the moment. I don't understand.
Yeah.
I don't like any of the music so far, and I didn't realize till that moment. I was like, that just made the whole scene better.
Yeah.
When the music comes on when they're fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly what scene you're talking
yes.
about. Yeah.
Yes.
But so that, and then why do the Inquisitors have when he always doing she went flat? Why they shouldn't have that?
Why do they have the Force?
the Force powers like that? I think they have a little bit, but it's not. It more helps them with maybe some fighting or some whatever. But I don't think they could do all that.
Well, I always assumed they
because-
I don't remember Rebels all that much. Was the first time they have the Inquisitors.
I don't remember them
But
using.
I thought they always did have. I
it
thought they
wasn't-
were
but it-
Force sensitive.
but it wasn't that powerful.
Oh.
And plus, even if let's say in this one they're going to be like that, that's fine. That's just a little nitpicky or whatever like that. But if you're going to do that, laying her out like that, that's not scary. You got a force choke.
Yeah.
That's what you do when you have it. That's intimidating and scary when they're up like this and you, because you think of yourself, I can't breathe. But just going down, all I could think about that was like, I mean, instead of the force choke, what's that called? The Harvey, what's that called? The Weinstein? When you're in for an interview?
That's what it looked like. I was like, that just looks inappropriate.
It looks very inappropriate.
It was almost like he was making her like bow. Yeah. But I'm like, at that point, like.
But there's a desk there and her arms out, which made it look inappropriate.
Yeah.
Like at
if her
that
arms
point,
had been to her side, it would have been better.
It would have. I feel like it would have been better if he'd like forced her down onto a knee, like she's kneeling to him, like that. If they wanted her to like go down somehow, that would have been.
I still think the force
much
choke
better.
Well, and in Hollywood, that's probably a normal thing. They didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
They're used to it.
Yeah, no, force choke would have just been better.
Yeah. Maybe they're not strong enough to do a force choke. I don't know.
Yeah. And then when she stood up, she rubbed her belly. Is there going to be something with that? I was thinking about that. What if she took a
was it?
What if she took a thing? And what if it was something that it was Obi-Wan's fault? You know what I mean? Or what if it was something because I was thinking, why does she want to find Obi-Wan so bad? Is it because she just wants to? I mean, is it so bad?
Is it because she wants to impress Vader?
I
would assume
head
that seems like the.
Or is it because think of a scene where Obi-Wan's trying to get away with Luke, and he's leaving, and she's coming up with those kids that were fighting. Let's say she was one of them, and she's yelling at Anakin. Obi-Wan trying to get him to take them with him, wait for us. He can't hear him for some reason, and they're running here, and Anakin's up here trying to come after him. So he takes off real fast, and she thinks he just left
Anakin's already...
You know what I mean? Or something like that.
Yeah.
Stormtroopers, whatever. But I'm saying he left... She sees that he left her, but he didn't even see her.
Yeah.
From his point of view, he didn't even notice her, but she thinks he just went ahead and left, and then she gets wounded right there.
Or he did see her, but I can't take you with me to where I'm going.
Yeah.
I'm going to see Anakin.
If he's on his way to Anakin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, he left him like, I can't take you with me.
Or something like that.
Or, he's trying to kill battle wounds, trust me, I can't take you with me.
It could be something like that. Or is she because we didn't see every second of what happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What if...
I'm assuming there's going to be another flashback confirming that she is one of the Padawans.
What if she fought her way out and Anakin hit somebody and it landed on her and cut her or shot her, or he deflected a laser bolt in it?
You mean Obi-Wan?
I mean Obi-Wan in it, they just never know. I was wondering why does she not like him so
He's
bad?
He's getting old. He gets confused with things.
Yeah. That's true. You can't. There's
him
so
and
many.
Obi-Wan.
Yeah. Obi-Wan. Called her Leia.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
But she rubbed her. There's got to be something significant why she just did this. Like that meant something. Like she got a wound there or something. And I bet they'll have a flashback.
And maybe when she was
and
maybe when she was wounded here, it prevented her from having kids. It prevented something like that.
Could have been something like that.
Because rubbing there.
My first thought is just that her stomach was pressed up against the table.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. But why? But why would you just?
But I don't remember her stomach touching the table.
But why would they focus on that? Anyway,
yeah, I don't know.
I just wondered. I didn't know if it meant anything. None of the other stuff, foreshadowing, happened that I've...
Yeah.
And so there's several other foreshadowing things I saw that could have been foreshadowing.
But
you would think, but it wasn't.
Yep.
Like I said, I don't get Reva's motivations that much. I get you want to be the Inquisitor, but you want to be the Inquisitor so bad you're willing to cut people's hands off and stuff.
Yeah.
Is it that, or
you're willing to be the head
else?
Inquisitor so bad you're willing to kill the other Inquisitors, basically.
Yeah.
Like
the head Inquisitor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you didn't even say that she had to explain how he died or nothing. Like, they just brushed over that. Like, I guess Obi-Wan killed him or something.
Yeah. She made it seem like Obi-Wan killed him.
Like, she didn't even say or anything.
Or
I don't even remember her talking about it.
There was something that implied that whoever she was talking to thought that Obi-Wan killed him.
And then, what was there? Then they went to the probe droids. Well, do probe droids have hyperdrives now? Because they showed up making the probe droids. I'm like, were they going to launch them from here? And launch them to... I thought probe droids, you had to drop them off of a ship because they're little tiny things, so everything has a hyperdrive.
No, they were... even in the original trilogy, they weren't above the planet. They weren't above Hoth when they dropped them off. They sent them off into space.
They sent them off into space, but I'm pretty sure they were a lot closer.
Because they sent them to several different planets.
Yeah.
Like they did here, but they did it from a ship instead of a planet.
But I'm assuming that ship, because I don't know if that is the exact ship because Vader was on that other bigger ship. So I'm assuming that was just a ship in that system. Then they go to a different system and drop them off. Because why would a probe droid have a hyperdrive on it? That seems like a lot for something you're not going to use that often. You know what I mean? But it could be.
Well,
but I thought that ship was in that system. Dropped those off for the place that is close enough to that system to go, and then probably hyperdrive to a different system.
But if you're specifically hunting for Jedi, you might spend the money for the probes to have.
Yeah.
You might, but you also have Inquisitors.
When there's lots of Jedi.
So
still out. Well, not anymore, but when there was.
You also have Inquisitors. I think it'll be a little.
You also have the
Speaking
two
of
most
Jedi-
powerful Jedi still out
Speaking
there.
of Jedi, they dropped the name Quinlan Voss.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like he's I know he's a cool Jedi.
Yeah. Well, and that's one of the things we were talking earlier with. I forget what we were talking about. What was it for the? We're trying to think of the reason why they wrote it a certain. Oh, like the Vader thing. I think a lot of it has to do with either the writers don't care, or the writers don't know Star Wars well enough. Because, like I said, after seeing a thing that there was a guy did an interview, and he's one of the writers, and he had never even seen Episode 3.
What?
So
Why is he a writer then?
That's what I mean. He didn't.
That's what I said.
He didn't. He found out while.
Why are you a writer?
He found out while he was writing the show that Obi-Wan knew Anakin was Vader. He didn't even know that. He goes, I didn't know that Obi-Wan knew that. Well, did you not watch the third movie? It shows him watching the video and
Lord Vader.
The Rise of Lord Vader and whatever. You know.
Yeah.
So some of the writers, you would think they would hire writers that liked the show and knew something about it. So you know what you can do, what you can't do.
Now that you say that, that's why the breathing is different.
Yeah.
Because
they may not have watched all those and paid enough attention to know, hey, they're breathing while they're talking.
And
that's a thing.
If it's and like I said, I think it was a thing of back then. They had to do that because they voice over James Earl Jones.
Mm-hmm.
They just had to put the audio on the audio, and they didn't have.
But they could do all sorts of stuff. Back
yeah,
then
they could.
Too.
Yeah.
Maybe, but
No,
he's also
they could.
well, they're also using models to do the thing. Just saying, but still,
Well, that's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
that could have been the reason why. Maybe that wasn't a big deal to George Lucas.
Could have been the reason why, but the thing is.
But the thing is, if you're going to do it, then you have to pay attention to that and keep it the same.
Keep it doing it. That's why whenever they made the Force Awakens, it was neat that they had practical things because it just looked more like Star Wars.
Yeah.
Than just doing all CGI. You know. So
I do like that they did practical effects. The Mole Man looked a little funny.
Yeah.
His voice didn't match whatever was going on with his mouth.
No.
Yeah.
There should have been some sort of like, I don't know, lisp or hissing thing happening because his mouth was never closed.
Yeah.
He always had teeth. He always had teeth showing. His mouth was never fully closed.
Yeah, it should have been a little.
But he could talk. But he could talk just fine, just like he had lips.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, you need to think about how the voice should be for something that can't basically use its lips.
Yeah, at least a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the writer that was talking about that, that's the kind of thing you don't ever tell.
Yeah,
anyone that.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't know that, talking about Star Wars, the fact that you don't ever tell anyone that, you definitely shouldn't be writing for Star Wars.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And maybe Disney needs to look at who they're hiring for writing and why people don't like these TV shows that much.
Yeah, because
why they're not legendary, awesome TV shows. That's why.
Yeah, because legendary, awesome TV shows are ones, like I said, you can go back and watch them again, and you can watch them again, and you can watch them because you're alive for a long time. So I may watch Star Wars, and then I may not watch it for a year or two, and then I'll watch it again.
Right.
And then I may watch it for a year, then I'll watch it again. You know, because it's rewatchable. A lot of these things like this are not rewatchable because the second, third, fourth, you see more things that are completely wrong.
Yes.
And instead of seeing good shows, kind of like The Wheel of Time, the books, every time I've read it, I've gotten something new that I didn't know before. And it doesn't ruin anything. It makes everything better.
Yeah.
So that's, shows that are like that, we're like, I didn't see that.
Right.
You know what I mean? That makes it better now that I know that. Not that makes it worse now that I know that.
Exactly. This is why
And
no
there
one
is one
wants to
thing.
watch them.
Yeah.
There was one thing that I noticed that happened because plot needed to happen. Whenever the Obi-Wan kills all the stormtroopers there at that stop, and he breaks the thing, and then the other stormtroopers come and they just surrender.
Yeah, that's
Why?
what
I'm like,
yeah.
it was that
It
happened
was-
just so that the woman from Game of Thrones
Yeah.
could shoot the others in the back.
Yeah, because he just killed 4 stormtroopers. Now
Yes.
that's 3.
Now there's only 3.
He would have already
and an officer.
He would have
Yeah.
already killed them and
That
shot.
doesn't
He
have
would have
armor.
killed them and shot her before she could say, "Hey, wait."
Yeah.
Right.
You know. So yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I,
What
know,
would
I
have
noticed
been-
that too.
I was like, why did they just
What would have been
surrender?
better, could have fixed the whole thing, is if while the stormtrooper is pointing the blaster at Leia, then the other stormtroopers come up, and then they
She helps him, yeah.
they surrender. They start to put him in cuffs. That's when she blasts them all.
Right.
Like, would have been much
You
better.
could have fixed it with
Yeah.
just that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's little twists
Yeah.
like that would have fixed it. That if you'd have thought about it,
Yeah.
you know.
And
like-
it actually probably would have saved him time. You wouldn't
Right.
have to show him
2 different
getting
things.
through the thing and like
Right.
you condense that into one scene and
Right.
Well, they
it
didn't
makes
even
total sense.
They didn't even care enough to make the barrier there go all the way across.
Yeah.
Because when they panned out like this,
I
you've
was,
got
I
the
was
thing here, and
thinking,
you
why
can
didn't
walk
they just
around.
walk over the mountain
You can-
thing?
Yeah,
The little hill.
it's just a hill.
Well,
Yeah.
not even the big barrack thing on one side. There's a little tiny one on one side. The big one on the other side. You could literally walk around. There was just a little boulder there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could literally walk around it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
Well,
Why
that's
are
not
they
a-
Like,
focusing
the
on-
the only reason it's there is to stop a vehicle.
Vehicle.
You couldn't walk around
You
it.
could walk around.
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah,
have
they
to
could have just walked around.
he
There was
didn't
no
have to,
reason
yeah.
for him to destroy
Shoot
the
the
thing,
thing.
or nothing. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I thought the same thing. I thought, oh, they're just going to walk around
Yeah,
now
they-
because that's just for vehicles.
Yeah.
No, of course not, because that would have made sense.
And whenever they first
Well,
arrived,
the
on
more we talk about it, the further it's going down in the
like
score
I
I
said,
gave.
Yeah.
I told you, it's one of those things that doesn't have the watchability.
Yeah.
The
Forget that 8.
yeah. When they first got on the planet and they get to that spot where they said we're supposed to be here, and I knew they weren't going to be here. Well, I've read lots of books, lots of movies, and when people are meeting somebody like that, they go, well, they're not here yet. It's like, how long should we wait?
Right.
Even military people, they're supposed to meet their contact. They're supposed to meet whatever. Well, they're not there at that certain time. Okay, well, we'll give them a half an hour. We'll give them an hour. Not just me. They're not here. We got to go.
Right.
Yeah.
Did
That was
that
stupid.
person say, hey, these are the coordinates, they give a specific time?
Right.
So I'm like, you gotta, give them a second, and that's
Yeah.
where, all they were doing was walking.
Yeah.
They could have sat there and had some of those conversations that they had when they were walking.
Yeah.
So it would have made it seem like they were waiting on somebody. Then that guy could have come by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then the stormtroopers. Stormtroopers are bad shots, but they're not morons.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're pretty
Okay.
stupid.
No, they're not morons. In the original series, they're not idiots.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They get down to the planet. They go, look, there's droids. They're probably this way. You know what I mean? They're
that's true.
not
Yeah.
dumb. And so who's gonna send them a thing saying, hey, we're looking for a Jedi, and that's it? No, they're gonna send it. Look for a Jedi with a little girl.
Yeah.
And then you happen to run into a guy,
Or at the
with a
very
little
least,
girl,
they'll give a description.
and it's a Jedi. You know what I mean? And you happen to run into somebody that's dressed like a Jedi.
That's what
And
gets
not only
me.
that, he's probably the most famous Jedi alive at the time, besides maybe Yoda.
Right.
And you can't mistake Yoda. So he's the most, because even the girl, Tala, that they ran into, that helped them, the lady was dressed up as the whatever, she knew him.
Yeah.
She goes, Obi-Wan, I didn't know Obi-Wan was, so she knew him. But none of the stormtroopers knew. They didn't give him a picture, like here's the thing, heads up, and he's with a little girl.
No picture, no description,
Yeah.
nothing.
And it's
like-
only been 10 years, and he's ran into several stormtroopers. You can't tell me he hasn't ran into one that wouldn't recognize him.
Yeah.
And plus he's dressed like a Jedi.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he's
That's
not
what
gonna-
gets me.
Yeah.
He never changes his clothes.
Yeah, he's not
Yeah.
gonna, shave his beard off, cut his hair maybe, dye it a different color. Yeah, how about this? It's Star Wars. You know what you can do? Leia did it. Put a helmet on.
Right.
You know what I mean? When she went and rescued Han,
Yeah.
she put that thing on, changed her voice and everything.
Yeah.
Why didn't he think of something like that? On Boba Fett, the girl that's, I can't remember the name of his sidekick, the chick.
I
She-
can't either.
Yeah.
But she has that helmet thing that just kind of shows her eyes. That's
Yeah.
a normal thing in Star Wars. Why didn't
Yes.
he get one? You know, that would have been way easier. It would have been way more believable. Wouldn't have taken me out of the thing. Like every time he's walking through a town or he's walking with her, and I'm like, why? Who wouldn't notice that? You're a Jedi with a little girl.
Right. Yep. You're dressed like a Jedi. The whole time he's dressed like a Jedi walking through
When
cities.
someone puts a hood up, it actually makes it more suspicious, not less.
Yeah.
It doesn't hide you. It's not an elven cloak that hides you.
Especially after they're walking up towards the thing. After they're walking up, then he puts it up.
Right.
I would have understood if when he, as soon as he sees the checkpoint thing ahead, then he puts his hood up.
Yeah. But not once they see you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They've already seen your face.
But they do that in movies a lot. They do stuff like that in movies a lot. And it irritates me when they do stuff like that.
Yeah.
I do like the interaction between, again, the character stuff, between him and Leia, whenever he says, I was like that, I was taken from my, parents, trained as a Jedi.
Yeah.
And it was a really touching moment there, you know what I mean? So, again, they have those things like that when they're interacting like that, but when it has something to do with like even the stormtroopers, they're just like, well, that's dumb. Yeah. Like
I even liked their interactions with the stormtroopers. They should have
if they'd had a disguise on.
Yeah. My thing is, the stormtroopers.
Or if they hadn't got the news yet.
Stormtroopers hadn't got the news yet, wouldn't have a problem with that scene. I even like their interactions with the stormtroopers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Obi-Wan's little slip up, and then
It would have been one that, and how easy would it have been they hadn't got the news yet? Because according to them, they didn't know what planet they were on yet anyway. You know what I mean?
And they're also working in the middle of fields and whatever.
And that's not, they walked right out of the middle of a field. There wasn't anything out there.
Yeah.
The second time I watched it, I'm like, look, there's not a base. They're just walking out of the middle of a field.
Yeah.
Right.
What
There wasn't like
nothing going on.
Equipment down there where people are mining.
Farm. There wasn't nothing.
Nothing.
And I'm like, what is that? That's just weird.
Yeah, and the whole time, like, he's running into stormtroopers. I'm waiting for him to do the thing, and he never did the thing. I was disappointed.
What thing?
Huh? Using out
the mind trick.
The whole time I was waiting for that. And he never did it.
That could have solved everything. They could have just said, "We're looking for a Jedi."
I'm not the person you're looking for.
Yeah.
Well, he's not the person we're looking for, so we're good. And they could have even given a description where it's a little girl and a guy. They're like, wait a second, we're looking for a little girl. And they're like, we're not the ones you're looking for.
And they get through the checkpoint that way.
They're not the ones we're looking for.
Yeah.
Hey, drop us off.
Well, before the checkpoint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They dropped them off.
They dropped those stormtroopers off, and then they
when they got to the checkpoint, though, I thought he was going to use the trick, but he didn't, and I was so disappointed. I'm like, you missed an opportunity for him to use the trick.
Well, the thing is that they took him out of thing, and I thought before he could even use the trick, the probe came around. The probe, you can't do it to the probe.
Yeah.
So.
But even if he had started to do that, I mean, I was waiting for
Yeah.
Yeah.
You better use it once through this dang thing. That's what I look forward to Obi-Wan doing.
And they also missed a good opportunity for some character building for Leia. When they go and they walk right past the stormtrooper that was cut in half. Literally cut in half.
Yeah.
A 10-year-old walks past someone that's cut in half and has no reaction, like it's not even there.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They could have had her kind of whatever, and he had to get her, so it'll be okay. That's something you shouldn't let. But it gives her, something that hey, later on when something like that happens, it's not going to affect her as much.
Right.
She's seen it or whatever, but she acted like, oh, look, there's stormtrooper cut in half. But what to do? Just kept on going.
Yeah.
I'm a grown adult and I'm having a reaction. I was in the military.
Yeah.
I've seen some stuff.
All
and
three of
like,
us,
oh my
as
gosh.
soon as when it happened,
You
we're
were
like,
like,
oh, God. Yeah.
Like, what? Hey, just got cut in half.
Yeah.
The 10-year-old's like, oh, cut in half person. Well, whatever. Yeah, and then I got to think, just walk around the barrier. Holy crap.
I know. That's what I thought they were going to do.
Yeah.
Walk around, but...
And then we were talking about, how he killed 4 stormtroopers, but then he couldn't do 3.
Yeah.
They did that just for the plot.
And I noticed when he got down, and the 3 of them got him, and he got down like this, like, again, you make stormtroopers look stupid, because he's like, okay, I'm like that. And the whole time he's going like this with the gun pointed right at them, going down towards the ground. Drop the gun. That's the first thing cops yell. Drop the gun, then get down. But no, he's getting down, and it's pointed right at him the whole time he's going down. And I'm like, because I was thinking he's just going to shoot him.
Yeah.
But no, then the other girl shot him, so,
Like I said, you could have fixed that scene by those stormtroopers pulling up while the other trooper had Leia.
Yeah.
Then they put them in cuffs or whatever, and that's when
Yeah.
that's when the woman shoots the other stormtroopers.
Mm-hmm. And then I also wondered on the second time around when they said, I want, you need to shut down all, all to and from transport to and from the plane. They shut it down. I'm wondering, well, this time did they shut down the automated ones?
Yeah.
Because they tried that last time, didn't work. So
Didn't
hopefully
work.
this time they go, well, we should do the automated ones too. I think.
Yeah.
He should have said,
So stupid.
especially the automated ones. That's what he should have said. And I noticed that with this, Leia, they have different people. Right? She's all over the place.
Yeah.
1 minute she's a smart aleck. The next she's not afraid of the guys kidnapping her and she's kicking Obi-Wan. Then the next thing she's
she's afraid of Obi-Wan.
She's afraid of Obi-Wan. And then she has a little robot. She likes, she was naming the ships as they were flying. She likes that. But then at first she's afraid of that cargo droid when they walk into the place. And, and then she's like, oh, I miss home now. And then, she was afraid of him and wouldn't talk, and she was afraid of people. But then when she's just going to walk up to a complete stranger and ask for a ride,
Yeah.
she can. It's just she's too all over the place. Mm-hmm. Instead of being a consistent kind of character, which is what I know. And then when they get to the droid, I did like the line that she had where she said, "What if he has something to say?" That's a cute line.
Yeah, that was cute. I liked that.
The follow-up line I didn't like. Well, actions speak louder than words. Okay, so. Why don't you take your own advice, movie?
Right.
You just explained it to me. When people know that saying, it's not like it's not a common saying. And why did you show me? Actions speak louder than words.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, but I didn't like that little cheese. But I liked well, he's got something to say. They could look at each other and went, or something like that. But I didn't understand, why did the droid have a hammer behind his back?
Yeah.
He's a big, huge metal droid. Does he need a hammer when he has a fist that's
Yeah.
just like a hammer?
He has a fist that is that's consistency of a hammer.
Right.
That's not going to look suspicious behind his back?
Yeah.
Right.
He could just have it at his side? And how come the one stormtrooper knew that cargo droids can't communicate and the other one didn't? When you think that'd be common knowledge,
I don't.
in a place where, those droids exist,
Yeah.
people would know that?
When we saw like 3 that episode.
Yeah.
One was unloading the ship, and then that one, and then there was like another one in the background. I'm like,
there was several of them. And you would think that would be a common knowledge thing. I
Yeah.
thought that was,
Yep.
And I like the Tala character. I liked her.
Yeah.
I like her too.
There's something about her, even in Game of Thrones, there's something,
About
something
her.
that you just
What's her name
like.
again?
She has whatever,
Missandei?
something like that.
huh? No, Miss Sunday is the Daenerys's
Away from me.
Yeah.
girl. The girl that gets
Oh,
killed, and then
that's right,
Grey
that's
Worm
right.
goes crazy. Yeah.
But yeah, there's something about her I liked, and then when I watched it the second time, I started thinking, well, that would have been a much better Obi-Wan show. She could be in it, and he's helping them run the underground to get rid of, to help get Jedis, whatever. He's watching Luke, and then every once in a while he'll go off planet because they need him to go help smuggle somebody or something like that. Mm-hmm. That would have been a much better,
Yep.
reason.
Yeah.
Why, as opposed to, hey, Obi-Wan, I need you to go find my daughter, even though I have a whole planet of troops. That
Even
can
though
go,
my wife's the queen, so
and
we
I'm a
could just
senator.
pull strings and have.
Yeah. Well, we got to keep it quiet. Why?
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 Nobody's going to think twice that, he wants to protect his daughter. Who's going to be mad at that?
Yeah. Who would
know?
question you sending troops to go find your kidnapped daughter?
Yeah.
Like,
The whole
Nobody.
premise of this show is
The whole
just-
premise of that plan right there was
Yeah.
just dumb.
Yeah.
And then Tuller recognized him. So like I said, that was,
Yeah.
he should have had some sort of thing.
and the fact that they're together another episode,
Yeah.
and he's gonna have to rescue her again from Reva.
I don't
Yeah,
like the whole
and
thing
the-
about being him and Leia.
Yeah,
I
him
don't like
and
that.
Leia
They're being-
having met means the whole line about "you served my father during the Clone Wars" is really weird, considering that he saved your life.
I would think that'd be more important than why you have a bond and why you should come help me.
Yeah,
Right.
Because
I mean,
you
he's
saved
made
my
a
life
point not
once.
to say he's Obi-Wan,
Yeah.
so she didn't know
Maybe
he
she
was
doesn't
Obi-Wan.
know he's Obi-Wan, maybe.
maybe
but
she
I
just
don't
knows
see
him
how-
as Ben, but I'm like,
Could
that's
be. But they were in wasn't
Then-
she in the same room when he called her Obi-Wan?
But if she knows him as Ben, why wasn't there immediate recognition when she met him in episode 4?
she doesn't really meet him in episode 4.
Now
Whatever
she
episode.
just sees him fighting and Vader kills him.
Oh,
Yeah,
he
Vader
never
kills
saw-
him.
okay,
Yeah,
okay, makes
she
sense.
basically never sees
That's
him.
why they went with this story.
But you would
it.
think she maybe not. He's a lot older.
Yeah.
But you think she would get it?
Right.
You know, I miss Ben. You know, he said he didn't call him Obi-Wan. He called him Ben.
Yeah.
But the thing is also, she recognized him right off the bat. So that means other people can recognize him. But not only that, then he said, it's just Ben nowadays. Oh, well, give him your code name. So now if she gets captured and tortured, or the mind trick where they pull it out of her, he goes, oh, we're looking for, he's going by Ben. Right. So now you can go to Ted, is there a Ben around here? Yeah, he lives over by Dune Sea.
Right.
You know? So you just gave away your...
Yeah.
You know, you want to keep stuff like that as close to the best you can, because just because she's a good person doesn't mean she can be tortured out of her. Because anybody's going to give it up when it comes to torture. I mean, anything. Yeah. You know? But I thought that was just a bad move on his part. But I did like then what happens next. I did like that Obi-Wan could feel Vader's presence.
Yeah, that was cool.
You know what I mean? Where he kind of felt it. You know what I mean? But then they did the old movie trope where something happens and they stand there, and you're going, "Why aren't you running? Why don't you run? Why are you standing? Why are you?" And then they finally run, but then it's almost too late. Yeah. When you're like, you could have run from the beginning. Why are you standing there? That's the
he should have went. Why are you standing
and he's
there?
Looking, and is that who I think? And then he comes around, and you see him, and go, "Okay, we got to go." And then you're gone. Why are they even there?
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean? And if you want to,
you scared me.
Sorry. And then if you're going to stay there to hold, like he said, to distract him or to hold him back or to give him time, then why did he sneak out the back door and run away so he couldn't see him? Would she need to step out in the middle of the street?
Vader could sense his presence.
Okay.
So I'm assuming he could tell he's nearby. Yeah. He can't tell exactly where he is, which is why he started dragging people around. Like, come on, Obi-Wan, come help these people. Yeah.
But still, I think he would have went out and just confronted him and then ran off or something. Or, done something.
But if he runs off with them, Vader might be able to tell kind of what direction he's going.
Not if they take off in the ship.
Yeah, but they have to. It takes some time to get to the ship. If they go off this way to the ship and Obi-Wan runs off this way, Vader follows him.
They were walking very slow. Yeah, it was just Vader, and he would have had to come into the shop. He would because she hadn't found the thing yet. Yeah. So he had to come into the shop. He had to find the thing. He had to open it. He had to go. They could have been gone on the ship by then. Yeah. Especially if you're running. Yeah. Pick her little butt up. Yeah. Right. You got two adults and run.
Right. And why did Talia leave her?
That's another thing. Yeah. Nobody in the right mind would do that. Do you think that you can handle Vader better than Obi-Wan Kenobi? No. What are you going to offer him? Right. You know what I mean?
And also, she just randomly decided to leave her out of nowhere. She's like, "You go on ahead. I'm going to go this way." Why? Yeah. Why? She doesn't know Obi-Wan's in danger.
She doesn't know where he's at.
She doesn't know where Obi-Wan went. Yeah. Like,
how does she find him?
Yeah. I'm like, the droid makes a lot more sense because the droid was in the shop and could have followed him.
Yeah, exactly. But we'll get to the fight thing that gets you know. But like I said, nobody just stands there. It's a movie thing where they just stand there for the longest time, and you're like, go, and nobody would do that. Yeah, you know. And like I said, why didn't they just all run? I mean, run. And then I was, Darth Vader shows up. Wouldn't it have been nice? You go, and it comes around when it finally comes, and you see him walk down. And he goes, watch it. Dun, 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 dun. I mean, I got to have the Imperial March. It's Vader's, thing.
Or even the more, like, the slower, more dramatic, like, dun, 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 dun. Yeah. They've done that before in the movies and stuff. I'm like...
And then once he felt Obi-Wan, I would think it would have been a much better thing, and it is more logical what people would do is you're going to force choke the dude, lift him up, and then go, Obi-Wan, come out. Yeah. You know what I mean? Don't make me, kill every innocent person here or something like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you got that.
That would have made more sense because because now people just hate the Empire. Yeah. And they don't want people to hate the Empire. Yeah. They'd be like, this is Obi-Wan's fault. And then people would hate Obi-Wan. That would make sense.
Yeah, so when she come out. And then he gets where he's dragging that one person. Okay? And he's dragging him. Wouldn't that have been good foreshadowing? So whenever he fights Obi-Wan and he's laying there in the fire, you know what I mean? And then they set the other fire, he just goes, okay, and drags him right through the fire. Wouldn't that have been a much creepier, better scene? You got it foreshadowed from before that he's dragging somebody. You know what I mean? Because the way to fix that fight scene at the end is she shows up. You can you can kind of overlook that she showed up.
Yeah.
Because there's only so many places he could be. She knows the planet. She's been around there, whatever. But when she shows up with a bunch of other people.
Right.
Yeah.
That she had talked to. So they're firing down on him, and Vader doesn't have time, and the stormtroopers don't have time, to do anything else while the droid comes out and gets him. You know what I mean? But he could have started dragging him through the fire, which really would have been creepy.
Yeah.
Because he's standing there looking at him thinking, why didn't his force choke you? Why didn't he pull him through? He was
Yeah.
just picking him up.
Right. Yeah.
Why isn't he pulling him through the thing?
Yeah.
I don't understand why he's just letting them get away. I don't
Yeah,
understand
he's just letting him get away. There's no...
Yeah, he pulled him like partway through the fire and then just let him. I don't know.
Also, the stormtroopers, I get that
Did the
they're bad
stormtroopers
shots.
ever fire back at her?
Not at her, no.
They didn't know where it came from.
They looked up and they're like, it came from this direction. We don't know where she is. Yeah. Then they started firing at the robot. Never hit the robot or Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
I'm like, really?
Here we go. I can't say anything.
I know they're bad shots, but that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
The fire wasn't that tall.
It wasn't. It was. They could have made it a lot taller. Then it would have made. Then
Yeah.
it would have made more sense. But like I said, they should have more people up on the hill firing down at him. So it made more why the stormtroopers can't do anything.
Instead of a fire, it would have made a lot more sense if there was an explosion.
Yeah. Knock some of them down.
Yeah.
Something like that. That could have been. Yeah.
Yeah.
That could have been. Especially if it's
An
only
explosion.
If it's only going to be one person, it needs to be a way bigger fire or an explosion or something because it's only her to give them time to get away.
Yeah.
It's one person shooting a gun.
They could have had it to where he's dragging him through the fire and then he pushes him back out of it because he's gonna slowly torture him and whatever. The robot like knocks over boxes in front of Obi-Wan, and then she shoots the thing and makes it. She shoots that barrel, makes it explode, and then it sends like all them flying and everything.
Or even the robot covering over the top.
Of Obi-Wan.
And then he drags him off or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it explodes, and Darth Vader's thing kind of catches on fire, and that pisses him off.
Darth
more.
Vader gets like
really mad.
One of his legs gets taken out.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that. I would just have his suit catch on fire a little bit and then have to put it out. That would piss him off.
Yeah.
Like.
And he could force choke or slam a stormtrooper just because he's mad.
Yeah, and especially because being burnt on burnt scars hurts even worse.
And
so it would be like reliving, even if you just
I was
got
just saying a way for Vader to not chase after them because, I mean, they're just in a little quarry thing. You could walk around.
Yeah.
A way for Vader to not chase after him is if the explosion damaged his leg.
Yeah.
Damaged his mechanical leg, and so
even knocked him over.
Yeah.
That gives you enough time to get him out of there.
Yeah.
But and then they
and he did the whole Jason thing where he's just there.
Yeah, well, he's there.
He walks the whole
and
time,
every
but
time you
he's
walk,
there.
he's there. He
Like-
walks, he's there. Yeah, the whole fight scene I didn't really care for. It wasn't that epic, that great.
No.
It wasn't executed because some of the time when Obi-Wan was defending, I'm like that's a dumb way to defend. Vader just chopped his arm off.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I thought at any minute he was gonna like hit Obi-Wan because
But that's why I liked if Obi-Wan wanted to stay and just step out in front of him and take him on. Really, this is where I got to step up and be a man. But when he's running, I'm thinking, okay, now you've left Luke on a planet with 3 Inquisitors because you didn't know if the Inquisitors left.
Right.
You didn't know the Inquisitors were the ones that took him. You thought some guys took him. So you just left Luke on a planet where you knew 3 Inquisitors were in town.
yeah.
Well, that's kind of dangerous. Then, now you left Leia. So now you left both of them. Mm-hmm. That does not seem like an Obi-Wan move.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm like, they're making Obi-Wan not seem like Obi-Wan.
No.
He's just too depressed. You can have PTSD and depressed, but the muscle memory and something that you care for somebody, it's going to override a lot of that stuff when you're in a situation like that.
Yeah.
They're making him seem too weak.
Yeah. And
Because just because he hadn't done it in a while, he still knows how to fight.
Yeah. And lightsabers activate pretty quick. Okay? So one of the worst things you can do when you're walking around a quarry at night is activate your lightsaber when you don't need to.
Because it glows.
Unless you're Darth Vader.
Yeah.
Because Darth Vader has a red lightsaber. red lights don't affect your night vision as much. That's why when I was in the Navy, we're on a ship, outside the lights were red. When you're in a helo or something, the lights are red because it doesn't affect your night vision. But that blue light went boom. Now you couldn't see if Darth Vader was walking up anyway.
Right.
But they wanted it because it's the cool factor.
Yeah.
You know. But I'm thinking, you just blinded yourself. Now you can't see nothing.
Yeah.
Now, lightsabers are great if the power goes out in your house.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're very good for, instead of having a flashlight, because a flashlight just beams like this, does light the whole room up.
Yeah.
Now it lights it up blue or red or green, but it lights
Or
the
purple.
whole room up.
Right.
And from the outside of your house, it looks really neat because one window's red and one window's green and whatever. They're like, what are they doing in that house? Well, the power went out, and we're using the lightsabers. We found that out when the power went out. Use the lightsabers.
Lightsabers in our power.
We have lightsabers in most of our bedrooms.
And it's like, if you have to go to the bathroom here, take the tiny lightsaber,
Yeah.
like the smaller ones. Then we have like the huge ones we would put in the living room.
But it just makes it great
It
to
is.
light up room while you're
Very
walking
nice.
around.
Yeah.
You know?
Mom was really irritated we got them until the power went out.
Yeah.
She was like, oh, these are great. I'm like, I told you.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, it lights up the whole entire room.
It
It lights up the entire room without blinding you like a flashlight. You go, you're talking to someone, you go, well, oh, sorry,
Yeah.
and then they can't see nothing.
And it lights up for everyone.
Yeah.
Actually, when the power's out and it gets nighttime and I'm gonna go to bed, I set the lightsaber like face down in like the corner of like my bed frame, like between the mattress and the bed frame in the corner, where close to where my head is, and have the handle up top. That way I can click it on like a nightlight.
There you go.
Someone breaks into the house.
Got my lightsaber. Oh no, it's a Jedi's house. But
If I wake up in the middle of the night and I need to like use the bathroom or something,
Yeah,
I can just like click. It's right there.
Yeah. And I only know this from the subtitles that we had on. When I watched it the second time was I don't understand the Inquisitor's rankings. Okay, she's third sister. Okay, you got the flat hat. You know what his title is?
Fifth brother.
Fifth brother. What is the bigger number, the higher you get.
Weird.
So I don't understand their. So I haven't looked it up either. I mean, I could probably look it up and find that out, but I just, I mean, why? I'm just curious how that works.
I would have assumed. I would have
Is the
assumed it went.
Inquisitor
I would have
10th
assumed
brother?
it went to like she's third sister
Then it
and
goes
the
second and first.
first.
Yeah, that's
But
what I
yeah.
was thinking.
Well, these are people, because the military goes like that, right? Or does it go the other way?
Huh? No, it goes up. So you have like in your lowest, like when I was a petty officer, it's third class, then you go second class, then you go first class.
See, okay. Well,
Yeah.
these are people that know nothing about the military, the writers, I'm going to guess, because at my work, or like most other jobs, it goes specialist 1, 2, 3, senior 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
I think
So-
they went off of that as like a
Office.
regular office job instead
Yeah.
of the military,
Could be.
which doesn't make sense.
But it could also be canon.
It could
on
be
what
canon,
their ranks
yeah.
are.
It could.
And
Yeah.
I never thought about it
Yeah.
until this one. 'Cause
It
I don't
could be
remember on the
canon,
Clone Wars,
or
did
they
call- did
could
call
not
her
know.
First sister or third sister?
That sounds familiar.
But I don't
But
remember.
in Rebels, they really only ever had like
Yeah.
one Inquisitor at a time
Kinda
chasing
really,
them. Yeah.
And they never really talked. And when Connor brought up, that one Jedi that Obi-Wan brought up in the thing, the Quinlan Voss, they brought that up or whatever like that. That one, I mean, if you're, like I said, if you're going to do something that nobody, it's harder for people to gripe at you because nobody knows exactly. You've never seen him before, really, except maybe in the Clone Wars. You know what I mean? He has a really interesting story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not only is he more wild, a little more like an Anakin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? More wild. Not only that, but he can, by touching stuff, he has the ability when he touches stuff, he can feel what the person that did it before, like what they felt or who it was.
Huh.
So it makes him a
Weird.
really good tracker. So they used him to track down, like they were trying to track down Count Dooku and get him. He actually went on a mission, I believe, with Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
To do
Yeah.
And he met Ventress, and they fell in love.
That's right. Yeah.
And he fell in love, And she taught. I think did she teach him part of the dark side? But anyway, he ended up falling part of the, and he ended up becoming a Padawan or whatever under a Sith until he was taken back and went back to the good side. You know what I mean? He's got a really interesting story. You know, and I'm like, well, that's pretty cool.
That's interesting.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That you could have had a story about him where Bail Organa calls him up and I need you to track him down. Instead of having an Obi-Wan movie.
Yeah.
You know, an Obi-Wan movie the Obi-Wan TV show could have been where he's trying to help Jedi escape. We didn't see Leia in that one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it kind of runs. The longer he stays with Leia, the more it runs Episode 4 when she said you were
served my father during the Clone
Wars.
Wars.
She could have said, you know, we're buddy pals because you rescued me and we really bonded. You know. So yeah, I don't know how the rankings
Well,
work.
like I said, she doesn't know that's Obi-Wan Kenobi.
And I know when Vader.
She was there when people have called him Obi-Wan.
I could have swore that girl Tala.
Well, then they said no. I go by Ben. The little girl wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, she's the type that would pay attention.
Yeah,
you would think. I mean, other times. But here's the thing: after Vader left or Vader went to go hunt down Obi-Wan. It's really convenient how Reva just walked right to the right door and went in.
Yeah.
She didn't go into this one, then go into this one, and go into this one. She walked right to the right one. She went right in. She found the escape thing. It's like bam, 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 bam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and then she made the choice that no one would make, which is standing there, again, like a movie going, look at that tunnel. No, they would have looked at what? And taken off running down the tunnel.
You're right.
Yeah.
Because she's not afraid of anything. She's not afraid of whatever. She's got force powers and a lightsaber.
Yeah.
She's not afraid of Obi-Wan. She was confronting him earlier in the thing. She'd have taken off running down that tunnel.
My biggest issue is how did she get to where the tunnel ended up if the tunnel branched off?
The only thing I can think
How
of...
on earth does she know where they're going?
Yeah. The only thing I can think of is that she said, well, here's the closest port. They're going to head to the port. But why? But
It also showed her... Didn't it show her start walking down the tunnel?
No.
No.
It didn't? Okay.
No. But my whole thing is that how does she know they were... You could go, well, the most logical one is they're going to the port. But
the tunnel heads this way, and the port's kind of that way.
And they may not be going to the port.
We shouldn't have to infer that, though.
Yeah.
Because
We shouldn't have to have this discussion to put that together.
And that tunnel that comes out there, why is there a tunnel that's just a tunnel that opens straight up to the port? There was nothing covering it. There wasn't a door. It didn't look like a brick wall.
Yeah.
It was just a hole there. So when you get out at the port, you go, oh, where that goes? And just walk down it, and you find the secret place where they're hiding.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Like I say, there's too many little things I don't know how that makes sense to someone, how they don't catch that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and how it's like, how did Obi-Wan end up down at the bottom of the thing when he lowered her to the ground? Don't they see that doesn't make any sense? That it's too quick, and he was just up there in a firefight, and all of a sudden now he's down at the ground.
Yes.
And they're talking. They're not even down the ground grabbing her and running. They're down the ground. He goes, "Are you? They're talking for a second." You know that
They
movie
stopped
thing where
to
they're
talk in the weirdest
they're only,
spots.
they're only in a hurry when they need to be in a hurry.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, I don't think Tala would have left Leia.
Leia. No.
You know.
No. That happened because of plot, because she's going to be in the next episode helping Obi-Wan find Leia again.
Yeah.
That's why she left her.
Yeah.
So that she didn't get killed by Reva, so that she could help Obi-Wan.
But they could have come up with a whole different thing. I mean, Leia doesn't.
They could have come up with anything that made more sense.
Yeah.
Leia doesn't have to stay with him. Like, Leia can go home.
They could have.
She's not after Leia.
Yeah.
You could drop Leia off home. She's just going to say okay, and she's going after Obi-Wan. So you can take her home, and that's not going to hurt the story any. Except you just want her to be in it still for some reason.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
You want to prolong this to make to where you could possibly run episode 4?
Because it was a baby Yoda, so now you got to have a cute little girl in it or something.
Right,
Like that.
exactly.
I'm not understanding why.
That's my only the only thing I can think of as to why they chose this plot, because it's got a little kid in it, so little kids should watch it.
So little kids can watch people get their hands cut off and watch people get cut in half. And,
No, they did it because...
And watch a gross Darth Vader during the thing. And
that's not why they did it, because Star Wars is about Luke. Well, Leia deserved her own TV show.
Yeah.
That's why they did
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And guess what? Star Wars is about Leia too. If it
Yeah.
hadn't been for Leia, nothing would have happened.
Yeah.
It
So,
wasn't just Luke.
yeah.
So by doing that, you're really just demeaning her character from episodes 4 through 6 because she was important. She was the leader of the rebels.
Yeah.
And you're making it to where, well, it wasn't about her. It was about both of them.
Yeah.
It was about
All three of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
It
know?
wasn't just about Luke. Like that's why they're doing it.
She was becoming a better leader. Luke was becoming into a Jedi,
Yeah.
and Han Solo was learning to actually care about more than just himself.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know?
I'm like, we didn't need a TV show about Leia. Leia has like 3 whole movies.
Yeah.
Like it just bothers me. It's
Yeah.
like they look at it and they think, oh, Leia did nothing through those 3 movies. Like that's insulting.
She got him out of the prison.
She's also
the
in the
prison
sequel
block.
trilogy more than Luke is.
Right. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's like
She got him. Yeah, she got him out of the prison block and all sorts of stuff.
she
that
saved
did.
Han. She
Yeah.
she led the freaking rebels. Like without
Yeah.
her, none of this. Like Luke couldn't do it by himself. Like it just, I mean, how they demean it by, well, she needs her own. She did have her own.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you can't see it for some reason, and it just like demeans the whole thing.
And they didn't treat her, but Luke treated her just like another person. Like when they were going on Return of the Jedi and they were going through the woods, you know what I mean? And she was it her that fell off or he that fell off first?
It was her.
Further fell off first. He didn't go back around and get her. He just kept going. She got it.
Yeah.
She's just as capable as me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Kept going. Then he came back. She didn't make it back already. You know what I mean? He didn't treat her like
He
a
was
little girl or
expecting her
anything.
to have made it back already.
'Cause she's
Right.
just as
Like,
capable as me.
yeah.
She's fine. You know, because if I just dropped
She's
off,
probably
I'd
thinking
expect
she's
her
more
to,
capable
I'd
than
expect
me
her-
at some
yeah,
things.
I'd expect her to keep going. Yeah, like shooting a blaster. She's probably way better at him because,
Right.
you know, she's had probably way more experience at it. Anyway, we're getting off on.
But that's
More
why
tangents.
this is
Yeah.
all about Leia.
Yeah. It's the Leia show.
Yeah, exactly. Which
Yeah.
should be the Obi-Wan show.
And then there's happened to be something really flammable and a thing that Vader could tip over and then set on fire. I mean, and it's just open.
Yeah, movie
Like
plot.
somebody couldn't come by and accidentally do something and it catches on
Yeah,
fire.
I don't know.
That was.
I don't even know what they're
Yeah.
mining.
And like I said, then the lightsaber fight wasn't that great because
No.
Obi-Wan just kept running.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan's you
You
already
would still
beat
know how
him
to
once.
fight.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You already beat him once. You know what I mean? And I know you're traumatized and stuff like that. I guess because you thought he was dead and you thought he killed him.
Yeah.
But come on,
You
Not
already beat
traumatized
him
enough to
once,
die.
and
We're-
now he has a mechanical body, and he probably can't do the acrobatics he used to.
Yeah,
Like-
exactly.
you know, but I do understand the thing where he wants Obi-Wan to suffer, dragging him into the fire.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
Because it leaves off from the very last
Episode 3.
Episode 3, where he's like, "I hate you."
Yeah.
And he is just full of anger, and dragging him through the thing. I can
Yeah.
see that if they would have just handled that whole scene better, how he got away.
Yeah.
But I can see him wanting to really make him suffer. You know what I mean? He wants him to suffer like he suffered.
Yeah.
And when she shot the thing and it blew up or whatever like that and set it on fire again, Obi-Wan's in the middle of that. That wasn't very nice. You know what I mean? So I just set him back on fire again.
Yeah. Was he really in the middle of it when she set it on fire again?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That's what it
Yeah.
looked like. I mean, it was all that right at the same
Yeah.
part. You know, maybe it missed you by a little bit or something. I don't know, but it seemed like it.
Yeah.
And then again, why didn't Vader
I thought he
just,
was already on the side.
you
I don't know. But
Why didn't Vader just pull him across the thing?
Yeah.
You know?
maybe their excuse was he has to be able to see him to grab him, but the fire, because the stormtroopers couldn't see through the fire either.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's still.
But you can feel him.
See,
Yeah.
an explosion would have made more sense.
Yeah.
And he can see the droid carrying him.
Yeah. Well, it looked like it because it looked at him and then it looked like where he was looking and you could
Yeah.
see it.
Yeah.
So if you could see it, look, you can't do something 2 scenes before, you know, and then not do it. And that's the next scene
Yeah.
when hey, that's something you could use that would work for that. You can't show Vader dragging somebody and then show him dragging him into the fire and then when another fire, but him not just dragging him the rest of the way.
Yeah.
Right.
And picking him up. I mean, you can't show Leia running through the woods, avoiding all the adults can't catch her,
Right.
and then running through the streets and they can't catch her. You know what I mean? And then how did Reva get to the thing when Leia was running down the tunnel?
Right.
Evidently, she's faster than all the adults.
Right.
Yeah.
And the past 2 movies have shown she is better. She's faster than all the adults, and she can outrun them.
Right.
But somehow Reva got to the port before she did.
Yeah.
Because she wasn't walking down the tunnel. She was running down the tunnel.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I thought she was faster than everybody.
Going through this is irritating me.
Yeah. The more we talk about it, the further it drops.
I changed mine to a 5.
Well, that's what I said. That to me, the show's getting. When you first watch it, you're like, oh, just because Vader's in it, it's fun to see Vader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Then the more you think about it, the more you're like,
then you
"Oh,
watch
but why
it a
didn't they do
second
this?
time, and you're like, you know,
They could have done this. Why didn't they do that?
I don't have the
And
only
it's
reason.
just the action
Why aren't they using
scenes.
this? Yeah.
The only reason.
It's just the action scenes that suck.
But the only reason I even go back and watch it a second time is because I want to make notes.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for that, I don't really have any desire to go back and watch it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only way that's going to happen is if it ends really well. So then you can go back and go, oh, I can deal with all this stuff because it ends so well. It gets into climax. It's kind of like Game of Thrones. Man, I don't know how many times with the first several seasons I watched. You'd watch the first season.
The first couple seasons a lot.
You watch the first season, and then right before the second season comes out, it's coming out next Friday. Let's start watching the first season again.
Yeah.
Until we're all fresh. And then you're watching the whole thing again. And then the third season comes out. Let's watch the first 2 seasons, and then leads into the third season when it's coming out. So you're watching them multiple times. And then you get,
You get to the last season or two,
last couple of
and then
seasons,
it just kind of.
and I don't have any
craps
desire
out. Yeah.
because it ended so bad. I don't have any
Any
desire
desire
to go back and watch it again.
Yeah.
Nope.
The
Not
show-
even to like show people that haven't seen it before. I'm like up until like the last season, I would like Andrea. I had her get into the show right before the last season came out.
Yeah.
And we watched the whole thing, and then the last season came out, and we were both like, oh, it kind of sucked.
Yeah.
Because there's shows that I saw. The show 24. I don't know how many seasons that went on, but it was good.
Oh, I've watched
Yeah.
24
I watched it several
over
times,
and
then
over.
go watch it again.
And
You know
this
what I
is
mean?
not anything against the actors in Game of Thrones. They were fantastic.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
it was the way
It
It was
that
the writing.
it
Yeah.
was the
God,
writing
the
and where it went, and it wasn't long.
Yeah,
Like
David Dan or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Daenerys just like switched like that. I'm like,
It was
That
like
wasn't earned.
Yeah.
It was like all of a sudden in Star Wars Institute, all of a sudden in episode 2, Padme and him are in love. What? What do you mean they've literally had 2 scenes together where it's like, oh, they kind of like each other, and by the end they're getting married. Like that. Now his anger built up all
even
through
that makes more sense
thing.
because they
But-
went through a lot at the end of the movie. They went through that whole battle and everything together. Like that makes
No.
more sense than Game of Thrones.
No,
does. You know,
yeah,
Game of
but I'm
Thrones
just
does.
saying this was one movie, and by the end of that movie, they've had 2 scenes where they've had like kind of chemistry, and even the chemistry thing was weird. And at the end, he's like holding her like they're together, and I'm like, you've literally had like
Yeah.
2 seconds together. What are you doing?
Yeah,
It didn't.
it's like
it was just too
I love
fast.
the I love the
Whereas his anger was great, unlike Daenerys.
Yeah.
Like his anger built from the beginning of episode 2 to the end of episode 3. His
Yeah.
anger built up, and she had 1 season of it.
Yeah.
Like.
I love there was a video or something that was talking about Star Wars, and it's talking about their relationship, and he's like, and it's the part where he's like, I killed them all, the women and children too,
Oh, I think
and
I've seen
she's
that.
like,
Yeah.
and she's like, oh, you're so hot. Like, really? He just confessed to murdering children.
Yeah.
And they're getting married at the end
Oh,
of the
he
movie.
does
Yeah.
confess that
Yeah.
to her, doesn't
Yes.
he? See, that's another thing. Why are you with the psycho?
Yeah.
I'm just
exactly.
saying.
It's
Why
like-
aren't you telling Obi-Wan?
He's been creepy and obsessive the whole movie.
Yeah.
They made him to come off as creepy and obsessive with her, which I
Because
never
Lucas
pictured.
can't write that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which I never pictured him creepy and obsessive with
Yeah.
her, because she obviously loved him.
Yeah.
But they made him a little creepy and obsessive with her.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like I said, it seems like
I still
every.
like episode 2 though.
But it seems like every episode's getting a little
Little worse.
worse. So we'll,
Yeah. Darth Vader
see.
kind
I
of
don't
brought
know.
this episode up.
but it was
But
a mixed bag because
he was a mixed
there.
bag, yeah.
That you like Darth Vader because
He was great. The plot sucked.
Yeah. So
The premise of the whole show is just doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
No. The best.
yeah, like I have written here, I said these episodes getting worse are like Emperor Palpatine telling me, "Good, use your aggressive feelings, boy, and let the hate flow through you." 'Cause I'm getting angrier. I'm getting, you're like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep. Yeah, the more we talked about this episode, the further it dropped.
The further it dropped.
So
The more you
Yeah.
try to make sense of
Yeah.
it.
Darth Vader kind of just like overshadowed everything in my mind, and then we went over it, and I was like, oh yeah, all the stuff that happened before Darth Vader sucked.
Yeah.
yeah,
So yeah, no, yeah.
And you can have stuff like that if the show is still really good. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
when I watched it the second time, I'm like, well, that
Yeah.
was silly. So all I really want to do is watch Darth Vader walk down the street when he choked him and dragged the person. I was like, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't want to see any of the
Yeah.
rest of the episode.
And you know what? You can also blame for this sucking is even if they had done it the exact same way, if episodes 7, 8, 9 hadn't sucked, we wouldn't be nitpicking it so much.
yeah.
We
No.
wouldn't.
No, we probably would. Because a lot of the shows,
If
wasn't a lot of other shows that would suck so bad.
Yeah.
You know?
Nah, I still don't think we'd have nitpicked it as bad if those hadn't have been so bad. Because
Yeah.
ever since
Yeah.
those were so bad, we were harder on the Mandalorian. Even the Mandalorian was really good.
Yeah.
I
We were
wasn't that
harder
hard
on
on the Mandalorian.
But we were harder on it from the beginning and unsure whether it was going to be good or not.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
are harder on Obi-Wan Kenobi, and we're harder on the Book of
Yeah.
Boba Fett too,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because those movies were so bad.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
now we're nitpicking everything that they've done wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So blame Kathleen Kennedy. I do. I blame her for a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so that's it. So, I'm sticking with 5.5 because I would rather watch episode 3 than watch episode 2 again. That is, in fact, episode 2 was kind of, to me, it was boring, and the actors are flipping and all that was just silly. This one had Vader. Vader's always going to beat.
Yeah.
I think, but still, episode 1 had gave me hope. I was like, this is it.
Yeah.
It was just a couple of little things, but that was like they did that because it's movie cool. Showing his flipping his lightsaber so you can show his lightsaber.
Yeah,
flipping.
yeah.
They were just showing that because But that's another
And to
thing.
let you know that he has it.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
the thing. I wish they'd quit treating the audience like they're idiots.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
We
don't
saw
have
him dig up the lightsaber.
We know what it
We
was.
know he has it.
We
Right.
know what it was. Okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to have the stormtroopers come in and say, "Well, look around. Oh, well, this guy, he doesn't. He can't communicate." Why are we telling me that again?
Yeah.
You've already told me once. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to have a stormtrooper come in and do it again. You know what I mean? That whole scene didn't make any sense. It didn't.
No.
It didn't
Yeah.
forward anything. We said, "There, is there to come in?" You didn't need that. You
No.
could've
The
used that
droid
time
held
for
a hammer
something else.
behind its back. I'm like, didn't end up using it.
Yeah.
Like,
So
Yeah.
but
No
you
point.
don't have to treat us like dummies. We get what's going
Yeah.
on. You don't have to spoon feed us every little thing. You can show, not tell.
Yeah.
But as long as you do show. Now you can't just do this and go, well, why did that happen?
Yeah.
You got to at least show. So anyway, so I'm saying it a 5.5. What did you change
5.
after we talked about it?
5.
Yeah.
I figured.
Yeah.
I would still rather watch this episode than episode 2. I liked it a little more than episode 2, so I'm gonna give it, because I gave episode 2 a 5.5. I'm gonna give this a 6.
Because you like it a
Yeah.
little
I'm
bit better.
gonna give them
Yeah.
both 5s because I don't want to watch either one of them again. So yeah.
I at least want to. There's not really any part of episode 2 that I want to rewatch.
No.
I would rewatch the scene where Vader's dragging people down the
Yeah.
street
Yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't
Vader's
make
cool.
it through any of the
Or
rest
when he
of
choked him like this, and they put him in the fire.
When
or
he put him in
whatever.
the
Yeah.
fire, yeah.
See?
it. Said he was gonna make him suffer.
All the stuff with Vader.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd rewatch.
I will say, even though it's not Hayden Christensen's voice, Hayden Christensen's mannerisms and everything, the way he's playing Vader, I really like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that you can tell he's a younger Vader. 'Cause
Yeah, so
Vader's-
he's swinging it faster.
Yeah.
He's
and
swinging
doing-
it
yeah.
faster, and you can tell he still does that angry thing where he does it over and over and over because
again.
he's so mad still.
Yeah, yeah.
And whereas he gets older, he controls that a little bit more.
Yeah.
But he controls it a little bit more. But I like that he's doing a really good job to where you can tell he is the younger Darth Vader.
Yeah.
So he's doing really good.
But yeah, so that's it. So we'll see you on when we do episode 4.
Hopefully it's better.
Yeah, hopefully it gets better.
Hopefully.
And like I said, we're starting Boba Fett, so we should be doing a review on that anytime. And then Wheel of Time will have to have time, 'cause that might take a little while just for the
We
fact
might do that before season 2 comes out.
Yeah.
Do our thoughts on season 1 and then
Yeah.
But
start
that
doing
takes a
season
while
2
because we
when it
really
comes out.
like the book, so we
Yeah,
may
we
talk
have
about
the
that one
books.
for a while.
Yeah.
We have a lot of insight
So
on
if you
that
haven't read the books, I mean, we'll warn you in the
Yeah.
video. Be
We'll probably
pre-warned
do like a
that we know a lot more than the TV show.
instead of having a non-spoiler and a spoiler, we'll have like
We're just
a
gonna have a discussion, and it's a spoiler.
We'll have a TV show and then a section where we talk about it from the book standpoint.
I don't
Yeah.
know if I can break apart
Yeah.
from.
Yeah,
You know what I
it's
mean?
hard.
I can't.
Yeah,
It's hard to break
it's
apart.
hard, yeah.
So we will just let you know there'll be spoilers to that whole thing if you don't want to know what happens in books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we will probably talk about what happens in book 2, 3, 4. You know, all of them. So
Yeah.
you know, if you don't
Yeah.
want to know, read the book or don't.
But make sure you like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Leave a comment down below. You know, if you like, you know, like we like reading the comments. And so we'll see you next time. You know.
Bye.
Bye. Do it.